Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Driven Podcast. Today, I am having a conversation with the brilliant and beautiful Michelle Mojica. Michelle left corporate America to chase something bigger than money, freedom. As a top producing real estate leader and a luxury travel hacker, she has mastered the art of living well, traveling often, and turning everyday expenses into extraordinary adventures. From a $17,000 business class flight that she can get for 40 bucks to family trips that build connection and legacy, Michelle proves that intentional living can be both abundant and adventurous. In this episode, she shares her secrets on how she built a business that funds her freedom, the systems behind her travel mastery, and the mindset that makes it all possible. Today's episode is sponsored by Driven Relationships, where we believe that business growth starts with genuine human connection and ends with loyalty that lasts. If you want more information, please visit us at drivenrelationships.com. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much for hopping on with me.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly, for having me.
Yeah, so I'm the owner of Driven Relationships, and I have a bunch of interesting clients. And we talk as a team, as a like with Abby, Robin, the rest of our team, like who would be good people to interview. And your name keeps coming up. You have such an interesting concept of what you do and how you operate. So I wanted to have you on. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome to work with, and you've definitely simplified my life. And you guys are great at responding, and you're great at putting things together. So I'm grateful for you guys.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So you are a real estate agent. And you have a travel hack club, right? Tell me a little bit about like what you do.
Okay, so I am a realtor, real estate agent. I also have a real estate team. So I have a team of around 30 to 40 realtors that we work together. So I have a team. And then also, I love to travel. So it's a culture of the team is that we have families and really focusing on the important things in life of why we do what we do to be able to provide for our family. And also, not only that, spend quality time with them. So I also have a travel hacking company where we mainly focus on luxury, like
Okay.
flying in first class, staying at five-star resorts. So we'll get more into that as well.
Okay. I love that. That sounds like right up my alley. And my husband is 6'4", so he's like, I don't want to, I'm tired of flying Southwest. I want to fly where I can fly first class and spread out my legs.
Yeah, my husband is 6 foot, so I totally understand. I'm only 5 foot, so but I
Okay.
do definitely love the room still. So.
Yes, of course. So people should follow you on Instagram. I think when you start looking at Michelle's life and her lifestyle and the freedom and the flexibility that she has, I think you'll be really interested. So how can people find you on social?
So I have my main social is
Mhm.
at Michelle Mojica Official. That is a combination of my real estate team, my life, motivational stuff. But
Okay.
I post a lot of stories on there day to day. And I also have my luxury travel hacks clubs called at Luxury Travel Hacks Club, where it's
Okay.
specific to the deals that I find and how you can do certain travel hacks.
Okay. I'm so excited. So you are how many times do you travel in a year? Like we are in November. Are you
Okay.
tracking? Are you tracking how
I
many
lost
trips you've taken?
count. I lost count at like 30 something trips, I think by time, I don't know, June or July. To just give you an idea, last month I was in St. Lucia and Miami. And then this month we're in November. We're going to Mexico City, and then
Okay.
we're heading over to Newport. But this year we've spent 5 weeks in Hawaii. We've spent 5, 6 weeks, I think, in Newport Beach. We went to Atlantis this summer. Um, it's maybe 2 to 3 weeks per month. We're probably traveling.
That's a lot. Do
Yeah.
you do you have children?
Yes, so we have 4 kids. We're actually we have 4 children, 27, 26, and then 19, and one that just turned 18. So we have all adults, children.
You did
Yes.
it.
And we have 2 grandkids, one that is 1, and then another one that's 5 weeks old.
Okay, friends, if you're
Yeah.
not watching this, and you're just listening, Michelle looks super young. She looks like she might be 25 herself. So I don't know how this is even possible.
Yeah, we went to church. The baby went to church for the first time yesterday because mom and dad needed some sleep, so we took her to church, and
Okay.
it wasn't registering. We asked somebody to take a photo of us, and they were like maybe 60, 70-year olds, and they're like, "Wait, are you the uncles and aunts?" And I'm like, "No, we're the grandparents." And they were like, "How old are you?" I'm 48. I'll be 49 in 6 months, so it's I'm getting up there.
No, you look so good. I mean, if I were just to guess, I would have said mid 30s. You look really good.
Ah, thank you. Lots of vacations for sure.
Yeah,
That
and
helps.
yes, that does help. So, um, how did the kids go with you on any of these trips? And back in the day, they were younger at one point. Did you take them out of school? Did you homeschool? How did
Oh
you
gosh,
live this
no.
lifestyle? Okay.
My kids would be so screwed if I had to homeschool. It would have been a great idea because of the flexibility.
Right.
I was in corporate America, so I was in timeshares for 14 years prior to
Oh,
getting into real estate. So that was
okay.
2008, 2010. 2008 was where I was feeling like, okay, we need something else for our family, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
that I still think I even have trauma until this day, like picking up my kids at like 6 p.m. after childcare and it's like getting dark outside.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's when we have two older kids that were in middle school at that time when we had the two babies. And I'm like, there's no way I'm raising these little babies the same way that we
mhm.
raised the older ones because yeah, it's just something about picking up your kids at the after school program at 6 p.m. and it's dark outside when you're working that 9 to 5. And that's
Mhm.
when we made the decision of leaving corporate America and getting into real estate full time.
Okay.
And but we worked around school schedules, and it's
Okay.
tough also when the kids are in sports. We definitely maximize the days that they could have, how many absences they can have. But our kids are very, great. I mean, they were getting straight A's in the schools that they went to.
Okay.
They loved the idea of traveling and learning through travel.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
sometimes my kids like put pressure on me, like, we don't want to go on that trip because we want to be here with our friends. Did your kids ever give you any of that pushback, or were they were up for it all the time?
So once they turned 13, 14, um, and then once the kids, the 20-year-olds now are like, no, definitely travel as much as possible. But
Yeah.
because they're grateful for the fact that mom and dad are paying for it and the experiences and
Right.
whatever else as you
Right.
become an adult. But when they were 15, 16, definitely they're like, Mom, why can't we be like normal kids or we stay home all summer? Because we're gone majority of the summer. And it's, they look back and it's some of the best memories that we've had when all four of them are together. We actually also, as they got older, we allowed our kids to invite like a boyfriend or a girlfriend to come with us. We'll pay for everything except for airfare, and this is where travel hacking really helps. Because if we're flying in business class, you got to figure out how to get those points, or maybe your parents have points and whatever else. But yeah, we've allowed our kids to invite other kids to have that experience as well.
That's so fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have loved to be in your family and be a friend of the family. That's so fun. What has been, my family enjoys watching that show, Extreme Cheapskates.
Oh, I
How
haven't
how
seen that.
cheap how cheap can someone live? But it's not luxury. They're not like living
Ah,
a great, classy, wonderful life.
yeah.
But it's really interesting to see how cheap people can live. What trip have you been on that it's been like, oh my gosh, we did that for like, or we got paid to do that trip? What's like been the magic moment or a trip that's like, oh my gosh, we did that for so cheap?
I have a lot of those. Before I barely started travel hacking like extensively in 2020
Okay.
because like as far as when I say flying in first class, right? It took that I had to change my mindset to okay, we have a family of six, and you should be grateful to fly to Europe for like $500 round trip, which is great because you can
Right.
go to Hawaii and spend $500 each way.
Right.
But 2020, it was that not a lot of people were traveling, but also you didn't know. We still traveled through 2020. It was actually one of the
Yeah.
best times to go.
I did too. I did
But
too.
yeah, and I had to figure out how to keep somewhat, my family safe and not be around so many people so close because you just never knew. So that's when I really got obsessed with, okay, if there's a certain amount of people flying in first class, and if it's possible for them, whether if they're paying for it or not, I wanted to figure that out for my family. So that's when I started getting into miles and points and whatever else. And I
Okay.
realized American Airlines has been one of the easiest ways to get elite status, to earn miles. And I got really obsessed with it, where you spend $1 and it comes back to you 20 times, right? And yes. And so that's where one of our most incredible trips that I would have never thought I would have been able to go any other time if I didn't know how to travel hack would be, we flew, just to give you an idea, we flew business class to Maldives, which was on Qatar Airlines, those Q suites, double beds, you lay down. And it was 16 hours. So we had to stop over from Phoenix to Dallas, Dallas over to Doha and Maldives. But Dallas to Doha was 16 hours, and it was business class, lay down seats, all you can eat. And that would have been $17,000 per person for that flight. But we got it, I think, on either 60 or 70,000 American miles, and like I think $36 or something like that. And it was also business class from Doha to Maldives. So it was all three flights were business class. It was incredible. And I stay at the Ritz Carlton, and actually had, I think, a story on where I put hashtag goals for like an overwater bungalow at the Ritz
Mhm.
Carlton in Fari Islands, and we were able to book that all on Marriott Bonvoy points, and for 5 nights, and that was all on points. And the most expensive part was the speedboat from the airport. I think it was like $1,400 for the both of us for the speedboat from the airport over to the island.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So, how do you even start doing this, Michelle? How would somebody start who has no idea what they're doing?
I would start with one, do you want this? I think so many people look at my lifestyle or just follow my stories where they're like, okay, I'm just exhausted just watching you. It does. So I think my idea is if I can do this 2 to 3 times per month, um, I want you to know you can do it 2 to 3 times a year.
Here, right.
Right. But if you want to be extreme like how I am, it's definitely possible. I would start with one, where do you want to go? And that most
Mhm.
extreme, when they say, okay, think of the amount of money that you've made in 1 year and times
Mhm.
that by 10. Okay, think
Okay.
of a trip that you've always wanted to do,
Mm.
right? And you've just always looked it up, like say Bora Bora or Maldives, Seychelles, Europe, whatever, Japan, wherever you want to
Mhm.
go. Because I've done all of those places.
Mhm.
And whatever that most extreme trip that you thought you could never have or could never afford, just start there and then work backwards, just like everything else in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. It's like, where do I want to go and how do I get there? And there's going to be people to get you
Mhm.
there. Um, because there's not a whole lot like Iceland, right? Once you
Mhm.
decide this is where you're going,
Mhm.
you're going to start attracting the different ideas. And then once
Right.
you decide, I'm going to fly there in business class, or this is where I'm going to stay at, somehow or another, those things start to show up, or the people. I've been reading this book, 10X. It's not the Grant Cardone. It's not the Grant
Oh.
Cardone book, but it's 10X is easier than 2X.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
yeah, and it's really breaking it down where the things that you do, we do 10 things and you eliminate the 8 things that you don't, that doesn't really serve you, and you focus on the 2 things.
Yeah.
So I would say for me is once you focus on that particular destination, um, stop thinking about anything else. And
Mhm.
what I focus on is on American Airlines, that one
Okay.
card. You can have a credit card.
Mhm.
You can also, most people don't know that American Airlines has a shopping portal. Do you know
Hmm.
this? No.
No.
So
Okay.
what most people don't realize is most airlines, actually, not just American Airlines, but they have a shopping portal. And if you want to shop for like Lululemon, if you wanted to actually even book a room through the Marriott, or if you wanted to go to a football game like StubHub, okay,
Mhm.
you can go on the American Airlines shopping portal, and then from there you can go to StubHub. And or Viator if you were to book a trip, or like if you were already like in, let's just say if you're already in the Bahamas. So this is a perfect
Mhm.
example. We were already in the Bahamas. We flew there on points. Our room was like $500 for the week in the Bahamas in Atlantis. And we wanted to, the kids wanted to go swim with pigs. So instead of paying
Mhm.
$200 per person, we rented a boat with a captain, which cost only $800. It took us everywhere. Where that boat, you can go through Viator, and sometimes Viator is 10 points per dollar that you spend, right? So we ended up getting
Okay.
8,000 American airline miles for booking that boat through just
Okay.
American. Yes. So that's what I mean. You're already gonna, you're so just knowing these little hacks, if you're already gonna do, it's like literally one extra step that most people don't
Right.
know about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because everyone does shop. You spend
Hmm.
money. So if you can funnel it through something that gives you more points. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of expenses through your business? Like how do you accumulate these points other than, shopping through the portal?
Um,
Do you have a lot of expenses that you just run through it?
I used to, so for 12 years, we had our own real estate brokerage. So
Okay.
I would,
When you say we, you and your husband, you and someone else,
yeah,
you?
myself and my husband. I've never
Okay.
had any partnerships with any like
Okay.
buddy else as far as like real estate. Um, so we had a real estate brokerage for 12 years. I
Okay.
was so prior to leaving corporate America, I was in timeshares for 14 years, and then I was just a realtor for about 2 years,
Okay.
and I opened my own
Okay.
brokerage. So I would filter everything through my American Airlines credit card or
Okay.
credit cards that would earn points, and through that you would hit status, because American Airlines pretty much you reach status through your spend.
Yeah.
So you could everything I charge on my card, with the exception of your mortgage,
Right.
obviously, and then your car, which I think some people have found a way to go around that, but I don't have that much, thought
Yeah.
process to like have it occupy how to actually figure out those 10 different steps. But my thing is very, very simple. If you're going to spend money, put it on a card that is going to earn you status, and it's going to
Mhm.
earn you points, because there's two different things. You have loyalty points towards your status, and then the points which you use, which is currency, to use to fly, right, to fly for free or
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
And from there, I combine that with so what do you need? Airfare and hotel,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
money that you spend on activities. But
Yeah.
yeah, just our daily expenses, your water bill, your
Yep.
electricity bill, your
Everything.
dinners,
Yeah.
everything that you can possibly think of. When you're intentional with knowing everything that I do is going to come back to me 10 times, 15 times,
Mhm.
you start to figure it out. But it's just your normal activity. Not like I'm not sitting here stalking, who has the best sales, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, as entrepreneurs, we have better
Yeah.
use of our time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes. So I do the same thing, but clearly I'm not traveling like you, and I'm doing it through Southwest. And I have companion status through that.
Mhm.
I do have a couple other credit cards too. Like I have an American, I have an Allegiant because I need Allegiant because my son goes to school in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that's the only direct flight is through Allegiant. But do you know what benefits they give me? They give me a free drink when I fly on there if with their credit card. And I think I even have like some sort of yearly fee or annual fee, and I get nothing from Allegiant except my free drink when I
Yeah.
fly with my credit card. And they
Yes.
make me show it. They're like such sticklers about it. It's like it's
Yeah.
doing nothing for me. I'm like, this has done nothing. So like when you meet someone who's using Southwest, are you like, you need an intervention? Like you need to switch to American? Like, is that how you
Well,
feel when you talk to these Southwest people like me?
well,
I
it
don't
depends
pay
on
for
what you
flights, Michelle.
want, right? There's nothing against Southwest, but if you want to fly first class, so like that's just it.
Yeah.
It's not an alignment, right? Like it's if
Yeah.
you're going to come at me and be like, "Oh, I love Southwest," okay, but so then you don't want to fly first class, right? So that's just
But
the
I
thing, and you
do.
got to let go of one thing to do the other, because
Okay.
and yeah, Southwest, I think I've maybe flown Southwest, I don't know, once in like 5 years, because the flight from Newport got canceled until the next
Okay.
day. We were ready to come home, so we canceled that flight and then flew Southwest. But at the end of the day, it kind of goes along the lines of, if you want to be an entrepreneur and have the freedom, you can't necessarily have a 9 to 5, right? So it's the same thing. If you
Oh,
want to fly
right.
business class and have status, you can't fly Southwest or you
Right.
can't use Southwest cards. So it's one or the other. And what I love about American is that they have the alliance partners because if that's
Mhm.
your goal, that's your goal. It's
Right.
right. It's just very clear. So I'm very clear with if my goal is to fly to Dubai, which I haven't been to Dubai because it hasn't. We were gonna go after Maldives, but we ended up going to like Kuala Lumpur and Phuket and those areas.
Okay.
But um, it if I want to fly business class to Maldives, Southwest was not going to get me there. It might have gotten me to Dallas, right? You know, it might have gotten me to Dallas for a transitional flight, or positional flight. But I think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's whatever you want. Because I do have friends who are like, okay, I have a companion certificate, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think what we do is I have more expenses than my husband, so I get me to status first. So every year, even without my offices that we had paid rents for, um, all those years, I get to executive platinum. And what that means is you can get upgraded to business class at least 4 days in advance. Right. So I will get a notification already, and that's without a lot of my spend. So I will get a
Mm.
notification 3 or 4 days prior that I've been upgraded to business class, and I can have a companion.
Okay. I was going to ask that. Okay. Okay.
So it's for if your reservation is for two people, you can have a companion. So that is your companion certificate in a way where,
Gotcha.
yeah, you have to pay for airfare, but if you earn so many miles, like for example, to get to so you can have a companion for domestic flights and I believe the Caribbean as well as South America and Mexico.
Okay.
So if I was to book it through my account, my husband automatically gets upgraded when I get upgraded. So
Okay.
I get status first, which is executive platinum. That's the highest status, unless if you're
Okay.
like concierge key, but you have to like spend millions with them.
Okay.
And then from there, we then shift our spending to my husband's account through American Airlines because then when we're traveling with the kids, I book one of the kids under my account and then my husband books it under his account. So now we get not only are we upgraded if we're traveling with the kids, but all four of us are getting upgraded.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
how you would do it. If you have whoever has the most amount of spend, get that person to the highest level first as far as
Okay.
status, and then you shift your expenses. And what I mean by that is your water bill, your electricity
Yeah.
bill. I mean, come on, I live in Arizona. Sometimes my electricity bill is like $700 a month, right?
Mhm.
So you have these daily expenses, with the exception of your mortgage or your car payment, that you can
Right.
put everything on. Yeah, might have to pay $2 for whatever the processing
Yeah.
fee, but that $2 is going to turn into a flight. Like we went to St. Lucia, so let me just clarify. I do three things. I focus on American Airlines. I need to get my nails done. American Airlines, American Airlines, Marriott Bonvoy,
Okay.
and the timeshare part of it. Because I grew up in timeshares, I've learned how to travel hack timeshares where you don't even need to own a timeshare or own at that particular resort to actually stay there. So this is how I've combined it, where St. Lucia. We went to St. Lucia. We stayed at this beautiful resort. You guys can Google it. It's called Windjammers Landings. And normally the rooms run about $800 to $900 per night. We stayed there and we had a 3 bedroom, 3 level villa with a plunge pool. And we got that room for $399 for the week. Okay. For the week. And then we flew there on American Airline miles, and it was like 12,000 points per way. And then on the way there it was like $5.60. On the way back, I think it was like $100. But just to
Mhm.
give you an idea, that trip for two people, in which we could have, our kids didn't want to go. Like our kids are like, we don't want to go to St. Lucia. We Googled it. It's a honeymoon island or a second destination for honeymooners. They're like, what are we gonna do there? But to just give you $400 for the week. And then airfare was maybe $220 because of points round trip for two people.
That's wild.
Yes, you do. I mean, let me add out there, you do need to have some flexibility, but I mean, that's why we're entrepreneurs because we have the freedom
Right.
to be able to do that. But what I've also done is I'm one of those, I think I've been obsessed with, if I'm going to spend $1 on something, I want it to come back to me 10 times. Where
Okay.
I'm like, if I'm going to travel, I can also use as a business expense, right?
Yeah.
Where I do, as you know, I do webinars. So when I'm there, I also do my webinars as far as the travel hacking, and then promote
Okay.
the vacation club and all that stuff. So it's all obviously a write off, and it
Yeah.
comes together. Yeah.
Okay. So do hotels ever pay you to review their places, to tag them, to post about them? Do you ever get kickback for that?
No, actually, I haven't looked into that. I haven't looked into that. So what I've mainly focused on is Interval International is owned by Marriott Vacations Worldwide.
Okay.
Being that I had a timeshare background, I actually started. So for those watching, if you do have Interval International, I have the largest group on Facebook. It is called Interval International Travel Hacks. And I post on there. I started that group in 2018 because I wanted to help timeshare owners learn to use what they have.
Okay.
So in 2018, I started posting, hey, you can find this. And I've helped a lot of owners actually learn how to use their membership that they had no
Right.
idea they even had access to.
Okay.
So I started to actually get some of those offerings, but mainly in Mexico, because somebody from Mexico actually started following me that and they wanted to promote a certain property. But I haven't necessarily, I mean, I do real estate full time. I'm more on the business side, but I haven't personally like reached out or have somebody reach
Okay.
out to anything. Yeah. Like as
Okay.
far as hotels. So no, none
Okay.
of my trips are sponsored.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you think about like your income and your business and your cash flow, it doesn't mostly come from real estate? Does it come from your travel hacks club? Is it a combination? Where?
Right. Yeah. Right now it's coming majority from real estate.
Okay.
It is starting to, I started my own, I was able to coordinate I was able to coordinate a partnership with a developer in Canada. So I've been,
Okay.
where we
Oh, good.
figured out how to help people that want to travel but don't want to own a timeshare, because when you own a timeshare, you have that's a long-term commitment. It's like owning real estate. You own that
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, unless if you get rid of it or if you sell it, right? Or if you
Right.
just are like, I'm gonna let it go, like let it go into foreclosure. So we've created a program where you can own you don't have to own at a specific resort, where you're not obligated to
Okay.
own that for the rest of your life, where you're pretty much buying points. It's like you have Southwest airline points, you use it, it's gone, you earn more, right? In
Okay.
this situation is we've it's a travel club where you just buy points from a certain resort and a developer, and you can use it to book these resorts, which are timeshare resorts.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, if you want to go to the Marriott Colina. To own at the Marriott Colina in Oahu would be on average about $20,000 to $50,000. Or if you went to the Marriott website, it would cost you for a two-bedroom maybe about $7,000 to $10,000 for the week. If you were
Okay.
part of this vacation club and you just bought points, it'd probably cost you an average, maybe like for a studio around $1,600, and for a two-bedroom around maybe $2,800 instead
Okay.
of 10 grand.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on. It's been a couple months, but it's been incredible.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's both. I love my team. I love real estate. I love finding
Hmm.
deals.
Hmm.
So as far as income, it's been both. So yeah.
Okay. So do you work mostly with listings or do you work with buyers? Is it a combination?
It's both. I would say the past year I've not stepped away, but I think since I travel so much, it's
Hmm.
been growing. We moved the team over to EXP. I have
Oh,
60 in
good.
my, yeah, 60 in my network right now. And
Okay.
because on average, when I owned my real estate brokerage, I would have on average like 50 to 60 realtors as a small independent brokerage.
Okay.
But now I have 60 within my network. And yeah, it's actually
Good
been
for
pretty
you.
incredible. And since we travel so much, my idea is to co-sponsor with different realtors and different team leaders throughout
Okay.
the US, and also in 26 we're in 26 or 27 countries, I think now.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Do you
Yeah.
find, Michelle, that people are like, oh, Michelle's not in real estate anymore because she's traveling so much? Do you
Um,
ever fear that people will think that? Or like how do you handle that?
I get
Or
that question a lot actually from like team leaders that want to travel. I mean, and that this is not anything new.
yeah,
Because I've been traveling. We've traveled with our kids for so long,
yeah.
and there's top producers are like, I cannot post if I'm going somewhere, or especially if I have listings that are not selling. I think I've created, or realtors, right? A lot of times people are like, well, how is she a team leader? How is she able to support you if she's traveling all the time?
Yeah, yeah.
But I've created that lifestyle, probably more available than most people that are out there.
Mhm.
I'm accessible. There is
Yeah.
that fear, which I understand. But I think that if you're so clear with that vision and this is the lifestyle that you have, when people know you, they know you. They know how much you care. They know that I will take care of them. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I'm not physically right next to you selling your
Right.
house, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, we have such an incredible team where if I do have a client, like a buyer, for example, my team, like they're so readily available, and we
Right.
pay, 50 to 100 bucks. Or if one time I was in Japan and in Thailand, and I did have a client, that was actively looking. And in those situations, you partner up with another realtor on the team and say, okay, we're going to split 50-50, and they take over.
Yeah.
So there's ways that you can do it. But
Yeah.
I feel I've never had that fear. It
Okay.
is. I'm sure I've lost clients. I mean, I'm not naive. I'm sure I've lost clients because they're like, I didn't want to bother you because you were, I don't know,
Mhm.
in Europe or in Australia or
Right.
whatever, right? But
Right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you just figure out there's always ways to make money. I think as
Oh
entrepreneurs,
yeah.
there's always ways to make money. And money will always come. So
Mhm.
it's what you sacrifice. I've seen way too many people, they're just like, oh my God, my kids are 18, 19. And we've always said we want to go here and we want to do this, and we've never gone. And sometimes it's too late. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would think a lot of people would be attracted to you for your lifestyle. Like just as many that would say like, oh, I don't want to travel that much. There's a ton of people that like your lifestyle and want to create a life they love. Do you feel like agents are attracted to you for that reason and want to come work with you?
Yes, but what I've realized too is that they don't realize what it takes to
Mm,
actually get to this lifestyle, right? My brain is constantly thinking of, you need money to travel.
right.
And real estate is one of those vehicles where if you sold on average, let's just say a $500,000 house, that is a $15,000 commission. Now, if you're selling a new home, maybe you could get paid, 5% off of that, right? Um,
Mhm.
but real estate's one of those vehicles to where you can make a great amount of money
Mhm.
to be able to afford this lifestyle. And
Mhm.
I believe that mindset is one of those things that are stopping them from actually
Mhm.
achieving it. So I've had some people are just like, okay, I love what you do, I love your lifestyle. But when I show them what it really takes, and what I mean by that is you do have to market, you do have to touch base with your clients. It is work.
Yeah.
As much as I make it seem like I'm not working, I am working all the time. As you guys can see, every
Mhm.
time I
Oh
go
yeah.
somewhere, it's like, okay, I need to, I need this to be sent out and whatever
Right.
else. So it's constantly having that mindset of how do I make money while I'm playing. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. I have a friend who gives me a lot of business. She's a loan officer coach, and her kind of tagline or her message is create a life that you don't need a vacation from.
Mhm.
And she travels all the time and she just works work into it. And I think because our world now is so digital, you can do webinars from anywhere, you can help people from anywhere. And I don't think people expect you to show up and be by their side throughout the process. I mean, if you're showing someone a house, yes, someone needs to physically walk them through it, talk, be there for them. But a lot of times you don't need to be in person to get work done.
It's true. And it's honestly when you're so used to the corporate America
Mm,
brain, where you feel like, oh, I'm going on vacation, and you've had that fear of I might get fired or I might
right.
lose my job. I feel that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be great at what I do, where throughout my life, like here's an example, throughout my life, I do know I am where I'm supposed to be and not be afraid of losing anything. Like even when I was 19 years
Mm,
old, I was in timeshares and I wanted to go to Hawaii for a month, and they were like, "You can't go. No one leaves for a whole month." And I'm like, "Well, I'm 19." You know what I mean? I'm 19, I have no responsibilities. And because I also knew that's what life would be like as you became an adult, right? And
yeah.
responsibilities kicked in. You can't just make those decisions that might seem irresponsible for most people.
Mhm.
But I think at the end of the day, when you have so much faith and you have so much of not to be like, okay, well, screw you, I'm going to go anyway. If you've tested it in a way where it's like, this is what I want, because I feel
Mhm.
like I'm okay, like that book, going back to the book, the
Yeah.
10x is easier than 2x. When most people make decisions on what based on what they need. But if you make decisions on what you want, like, so for example, when I left to go to Hawaii for a month, not only I thought I got fired because I was before texting, and that was like, I don't know,
Okay.
1998. Um, I went for a month, and then somebody seen me at the mall, and then my managers at that time came to I was living with my parents at that time. They went to my parents' house and offered me my job back. I came back with 5 paychecks. I didn't even get fired. And then you know what the best part was that I got a promotion. I know that doesn't happen to everybody. But I feel
Oh
like
my
maybe
God.
that's why I that's what I wanted, to do. Um
Mhm.
and yeah, I think all my life that's why I mean, yes, I have fears of certain things, but I think at the end of the day, when you really focus on what you want, the book said that you don't ever have to justify, when you say I need this, like people feel like, why do you need that? No, I want this lifestyle. I want to travel. I want this. And I feel like when you say you want certain things, you'll eventually get it.
Mhm.
Right. So our mindset is the one that's blocking us from receiving those things because we feel like we need to justify all of our actions, and we don't have to.
No, you don't.
No,
And you don't have to justify it to anyone.
no.
Um, are you built different? Do you think your brain is wired differently? I mean, the fact that you at a 19-year-old young woman made that decision to do that, like it seems like it's wired into you. Or
You
like, did your
know,
parents give this to you, this mindset? Like, where did this come from, Michelle?
okay, I grew up in Philippines. I
Okay.
was
Till what age?
until I was 12. We moved
Okay.
here. And I feel this passion for travel is probably, they say it's like our pain leads to our purpose. And I
Mhm.
was 12 years old. I grew up in a little town in the Philippines, like in a small island in the middle of the country. And I spent a lot of time just having so much freedom, like Moana, right? Where it's like something is on
Mhm.
the other side of that world. And I had so much freedom running around the little town and felt very safe. And moving to America, I mean, I had two working parents that never spent quality time together or with us. So I
Mm.
yearned that growing up. And but in the Philippines, if you're very smart academically, you
Mhm.
have such a bright future. And they make it very clear. Because if you're not smart, they're like, okay, you're you're not gonna make it in life. Not
Mm.
like that. But where when you're smart academically, they really push you to be either you're a doctor or a lawyer. Like
Okay.
I was supposed to go to law school. I was always the top of the class. My grandma put me into pageants, so I feel like I've competed. But yes, growing up, I grew up in abundance where I knew if I did
Mm.
something to figure out, like I would recite a poem and they would give me money, right? I knew that I could always make money. I
Yeah.
yes, I didn't grow up with a scarcity mindset, but that's
Mhm.
also, like when you can always make money, you're gonna spend it. Like there's a gift and a curse behind that. So I always have to feel like I have to make money because I'm always spending the money. But I do, yeah, I do believe that's from our childhood, but
Yeah.
that's the reason why I talk about the mindset so much, because when I do meet a team member or somebody that wants to travel, because there are so many people that have figured it out. right?
Right.
Or they just got on that plane at 19. I could have had a choice of either, okay, I need this job as opposed to wanting to go to Hawaii. But you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like I think at the
Mhm.
end of the day, there's always ways to figure things out. And if you
Yeah.
look at every entrepreneur that is out there, I feel that every time we share our stories, it inspires somebody else to be like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, when you go through those tough times, I mean, that's what helps me get through, where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
this person, like the Mel Robbins book, she talked about
Yeah.
being $800,000 in debt. At that age, I'm approaching my 50s, or 48, 49, and you're going to go through it. And at the
Yeah.
age of 19 and your 20s, I mean, if you figure out that these risks and these decisions, you always have to constantly be making them. And as you get older,
Mhm.
they're just going to be bigger decisions, but they're really just
Right.
decisions. Yeah.
Yeah. Decisions, problem solving. It's so true.
Yeah.
I love that your grandma was in your life. I think a lot of my confidence and belief that I can do anything was my grandma, my parents and my grandma. I always felt like it was possible. If we came into a roadblock, it's okay. We can go around it. We can go over it. We can go under it. We can go through it. Like if someone says no, then it's just like, oh, let's figure out how. And I love what you said, like you recite a poem and you get paid to do it. I think it's such a beautiful picture of the support and love and success that you experience as a little kid to give you confidence that you can handle this small thing, you can perform this thing, you can do this thing, and it just continued through your life.
Yeah, and I grew up. My mom's side was Seventh-day Adventist, and then
Okay.
my dad's side they were Catholic. So my
Okay.
dad's side they were the politicians, and um, but I think both households really embraced the fact that they really encouraged anything that I did. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't sing, but they were like, you could sing, or I don't recall ever growing
Yeah.
up where someone told me I couldn't do anything. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
every time I got in trouble was mainly like if I stayed out a little too late, or, I think one time I wanted to learn how to swim and I told somebody to go and take the boat because I was so tired of like trying to learn how to swim, and I would get home late and I would get in trouble, but my grandma would always protect me. And I remember I think I convinced somebody to take their boat out so I can jump off so I can learn how to swim. So I would do crazy stuff like that. But yeah, I remember getting in
Oh,
trouble when I was younger, but I knew my grandma would always, always like protect me, and like I couldn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
oh my gosh, my grandma was the exact same.
Yeah.
Her children, her grandchildren, they could do no wrong. We
Yeah.
still like she does not see our faults. It's like
Yeah.
we are perfect in her eyes. And I think for my grandma, she endured a really hard childhood and she
Mhm.
decided she didn't want that for her children and she found at a young age that Jesus loved her. That
Uh,
honestly, it changed her life and knowing that she was uniquely made and loved by God, it was like this thing that she didn't understand till she was 10 years old. Whereas me, as her grandchild, I knew that from the moment I was born, that I was
oh my God.
unique and loved. And I believe it came from my grandma.
You
Her
want to
filled
hear
out my
something?
yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, you want to hear something crazy right now? Just when I was just speaking about my grandma, and that you just said that,
Mhm.
I remember, that song? It's like, yes, Jesus loves me, right? That every time I'm afraid, just like afraid
Mhm.
of anything.
Mhm.
Because I remember when I was a kid, like I would walk like in the dark because in Philippines they didn't have a lot of these light posts. And when I would go to like the neighbor's house, or if I would be scared, that would be the
Mhm.
song that I would say. But yeah, that's the same thing that my grandma would always like instill in us. And but that would always give me like peace, and
Yeah.
like everything's gonna be fine. Until this
Yeah.
day, I do that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
There's a peace that passes all understanding that only comes from Jesus, I
yeah,
believe.
yes,
I love
I
it.
agree.
Well, I think it's amazing what you're doing. We need to wrap this up, but so we know what you're currently reading. The 10x is easier than 2x.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I think everyone needs to read that. Sounds like I need to read that. Um, how do people get involved in your travel club? Is there a
Okay,
newsletter? What
so
do you do?
yeah, so we actually, if you follow me on Instagram,
Okay.
or even Facebook and send me a message, you can opt in to join my webinar. It's a free webinar. And if
Okay.
you've taken, oh my gosh, if you've taken a timeshare tour before, you
Yep.
probably know it costs on average, like I said, I don't know, for like a crappy one, like $20,000. I just took, okay, let me just talk about this. I took a timeshare tour, which we don't ever take them because my husband's like, you owned here and there. We're already traveling as much as it is already. But I'm like, I just want to see the product, right?
Right. Okay.
I'm obsessed with it. Well, anyway, they were selling this thing for like to get a 2 bedroom because we're a family of 6 and now growing. It would have been like $89,000. And then they're like, oh,
Okay.
but if you're not going to use this, it'd be like 44,000. It's like half off magically. And even then, to use that, it would have still been like $2,400, right? To
Okay.
use what you already bought into. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Um, so imagine like buying a condo and be like, oh, it's $44,000 for this condo that you have a usage of like 1 to 2 weeks a year. But in order for you to use that condo, even like you don't have an HOA fee or a maintenance fee, but in order to use that for the week, you still have to pay $2,400. I'm like, what?
Okay.
That doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense. Um, but so what I actually do is I show you the actual platform. Like you can do a search, and this is, how you can find the $400 for the week. And this is how, like, most people don't know. You can go to Orlando right now for like $627 for the week for a 2 bedroom and stay at a Marriott for the week, right? And you don't have to own there. You don't have to own at the Marriott.
Okay. But do you have to have a login to the
You
Marriott?
do. You have, well, not the Marriott.
Okay.
You have to have a login to the vacation club. So you do have to have a login and a membership for Interval International.
Okay.
Interval
And you teach
International.
people this. You, if
I
at your webinar, you
teach
teach this.
people this. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do
Yes.
they graduate from one webinar to the next webinar?
I think it's a matter of once you join like the vacation club, and I teach the same thing over and over, but there's some
Okay.
variations to it.
Okay.
Like there's some could be like American Airlines and
Okay.
how you can go on the shopping portal, or if you can go out to eat. Like most people don't
Okay.
know, if you just plugged in your credit card to there, you can get miles and points and whatever else. And
Okay.
then also on Interval International, since it's owned by the Marriott Vacations Worldwide, when you
Okay.
stay at a Marriott property, you also get elite nights and you also get points. But it's literally doing the same thing. But like, as far as the webinars, you need at least 2 to 3 times of learning the same thing, right?
For it
Oh,
to
I
click.
know how to do this. I know how to do that already. But because you're creating a habit and how to use the system, you
Okay.
need to do at least 3 or 4 times. Because I feel like that's where the disconnect is. Most timeshare owners
Mhm.
don't know how to use the system. Just like your CRM, if you
Yeah.
don't log in or any access to anything, you're not going to use it. And if you
Yeah.
don't know how to use it, it's not going to work for you. It's not your fault. It's because I don't know how to use the system. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. So what if someone belongs to another timeshare? Like my parents own through, oh, is it RCI?
ICI,
It's now called or Wyndham. Wyndham.
Wyndham. Mhm.
Can you give them hacks as well? Can they apply it to their own?
So RCI is pretty much like Interval International,
Okay.
except Interval International has the better resorts and the
Okay.
better quality property. But
Okay.
yes, if you know how to use RCI, because I had it for a couple years, I'm just not a fan of the resort itself, the
Okay.
resorts that they have on there. But yeah, as long as they know how to use that. And
Okay.
also another thing too is some companies you can have both RCI and Interval. So I would find out if you have access
Okay.
to Interval, because if you have access to Interval, even if you have to pay like $99 per year, you can, yeah, you
You can
can
like
actually,
transfer your points from one to the other,
yeah,
maybe?
yeah,
Okay.
as long as, so most people don't know that. Most people have no idea they even have it available to them. Sometimes it's free, sometimes like $99 per night. Or no,
Okay.
per year.
Okay. All right. So we need to read 10x is better than 2x or easier. We need to join your webinar. And then I would love to know what's your big, audacious, like insane vacation that you're kind of focused on in the next couple of years? Like where's the place? What's the experience?
I don't even have those. I
No?
literally
Okay.
have just been like, this is where I want to go and I'll go. It's not,
Okay.
it's not like, oh, I need to plan this or that. It's okay, if we want to go to Seychelles, we'll just book it. And I think that's like life in general, right? There's not, time might never come for this big, audacious, whatever. I think at the end of the day, if you want something, just know you can have it now. I feel that when you just focus on this is what I want, I can have this now, it's going to present
Mhm.
itself. It's going to be available now.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's every time we put something out there, like I know Bora Bora was huge for us, or just even Tokyo. There's not like a, it's just if we say, or the kids say this is where I want to go, we're like, okay, we're gonna
Let's do
do
it.
that because it's a lifestyle now, as opposed to something that's so far away that it needs to be this big huge goal, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do it. Just decide and do it. I think that's what's scary sometimes about people like you and me. We're like, ooh, I want to do that. My husband, I think, sometimes gets nervous about conversations he and I have because if he agrees to it, I've already booked the flights. I've like hired the architect. I have had the contractor out here to give us an estimate. I'm like, I take action because I'm like, let's do it. Why wait?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not,
Let's
I
do
mean, at
it.
this point, it's not even a trip anymore because I feel like anything that I've set my mind to as far as a trip, it's possible. It's like it's not a big challenge.
Yeah.
I am
We'll just go.
working on like these businesses that I'm working on. I have a goal to own a house in Newport Beach. And that's like one of my big, huge goal.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working, towards. Every time I go to the Marriott Newport Coast Villas, and for those that haven't been there, it's right across from Pelican Hill. There's this canyon where you can see all the huge, like beautiful mansions. So I will go to Marriott Newport Coast Villas and just stare at those mansions. And that's one of my big goals. And I know I'm working towards that. My family loves Newport. And
Not Newport.
so yeah, it's not even a trip. It's at this point, it's a home in Newport. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So would you, I know we need to wrap this up, but would you buy it for yourself or would you rent it out, Airbnb? What would the,
No, we would buy it. We would buy it for ourselves. Like we love Arizona still. But I mean, we bought our house in North Central Phoenix, and our mortgage is like super low, and our interest rate is like 1.75. So we might go back and forth. Like the kids
okay.
love Arizona, so but yeah, I love Newport.
I
So
do too.
whatever they
I-
do, what do rich people do with their houses in Newport that's always vacant? Whatever they do, I'm doing that.
It's empty because I vacation there with my neighbor. They have like access to a condo there and they're just sitting empty, those big mansions.
Yeah, I mean, people have always told us because we're back and forth, and they're just like, "Do you have a house? Do you live there? Like, it's our home, right? Like, I don't know if I could ever have like strangers, you know, like in
Yeah.
my home. So yeah, we'll probably just keep it, open and appreciate and value and whatever else. So yeah,
Oh my gosh, that sounds perfect.
yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm going to sign up for your next webinar and I'm going to make sure
yeah,
the information is in this podcast so that people can take action, they
yeah.
can sign up and they can start living this amazing life of freedom and fun.
Yeah, they can opt in, and we'll send them a message whenever the next webinar. And I normally will do it. The next one is actually week, I think, of the 16th, because I will be in Newport, but I am
Okay.
somewhere, and I normally will do my webinars when I'm on vacation. So you guys can see like the particular rooms, how much I paid for it. It's like
Okay.
real life, where I'm at. And then I
Oh
show
my
you how you
gosh.
can do the same thing.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. So this is being recorded on November 10th. You're talking about November 16th. So if someone's listening to this later, there will be another one. There will always be another
There'll
one.
always be another one.
All right.
Always be another one. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
Thank you again for joining us today on the Driven Podcast, where we are all about growing relationships in life and business. We hope today's story reminded you that behind every brand, every business, and every big idea, there's a real person choosing to show up, stay rooted, and lead with intention. Your story matters. So keep building, keep loving, and keep doing the hard, beautiful work of showing up in both life and business. We'll catch you next time with another real, inspiring conversation. And until then, never let life and kindness leave you. Always be a fountain, not a drain. And don't ever forget that you are the best.